and that's gonna take a very long time. So we need to kill the education and also increase unemployment. And also, alright, what I think I'm gonna do is turn the police stations back on to attract people back in. Keep the education buildings off because we need to make people dumb. And then when we have the entire city full of uneducated people, then we turn off the police buildings and we crank up the unemployment. I think that is my plan right now. Like it just... So I think like one factor by itself is just not enough. So like just turning off the police stations only gets us to about 22% crime rate, which is nowhere near enough. So we need to basically have 2 or 3 factors kick in simultaneously in order for the crime rate to skyrocket, I think. So let me just do this. Let me just turn the police station back on, and it's going to take a long time for the education to die, right? So what I think I'm going to do is just play the game normally, but with no education. And then once we have an uneducated population, then we'll try again. Except I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if I actually can play the game with no education. Like you see all these abandoned buildings, it's not gonna work if all the buildings are abandoned because people are just... they're not here. Like there's no crime rate. There's not gonna be crime if there's no people in the city, is what I'm trying to say. Alright, so is that all back on? That's too far. No, there's still one there. Just gonna turn the police back on. Try to have the city grow, but without education, if that's even possible. Alright, there's police again. Still a lot of abandoned buildings. Abandoned because... like it doesn't say why it was abandoned, right? So who knows? Crime rate's back down to 4%. Police stations are really good at lowering the crime. Then it's 3% crime rate. Fire hazards. I don't want to spend too much money though, because I am somewhat concerned that we do need money to do this sort of stuff. Like we lose money every time we try some of these shenanigans. Okay, this one is empty. Let's demolish. Yes. So every time we try some of these shenanigans, we spend a lot of money doing it. So we need to basically have a reserve of money before we try. That is also empty. Oh, it's emptying. Never mind. What's it down to? 650. This is down to 430. So can I just not demolish them if they're emptying? Yeah, okay. So I need to wait for them to be empty before I can actually demolish them. What is my population doing? I just want to see the shenanigans. Population. Fascinating. Like why? What is this? What is that? I don't know. And then what is this? There's something going on. There's some kind of relationship between crime and population that I don't really understand here. Like it dips and then recovers, dips and recovers. I think what happened is the crime rate is high. People leave the city, but because people leave the city, the crime rate drops because there's less people in the city, there were less criminals in the city as well. And then because the crime rate drops, people come back. And then once people come back, crime rate is high again and then leave again. I think that's what's happening. It's a bit strange. Not sure if that's what's happening. These trains are doing okay, I think. Still losing money because of all the abandoned buildings. I mean, conceivably, there shouldn't be any abandoned buildings now. Except for the lack of education, like everything else is fine. So we'll wait and see if the city recovers. Highways. I still find it kind of curious that we had to design our own highways, because the highways the game gives us is just not very good. Like that's one. Like they give you junctions, but their junctions are kind of terrible. I mean the T junction that they give you, the main highway line is fine. Is that the branching off, the one that branches off has very low capacity. Let me just look at their the X junction, if I can see it. The X junction is fine, except again, if you want to change directions, you go onto these rather low capacity ramps on either side. So I mean, if you're going straight through, it's great. Like the highway, if you're just going straight through, it's great. If you have to go in the other direction, it's not as great. I don't know, maybe I should try their ones. Maybe they're okay, I don't know. I've just been using my ones. I mean, they look more complicated, and they are kind of more complicated, but I'm pretty sure they handle traffic better. So we still got a lot of abandoned buildings. The population is growing slowly. Let me just check again. Statistics. Not really. What is going on here? It's almost like time hasn't passed. Anyway, we're up to 39,000 people. Let's just check the education. Education is slowly dying. Yeah. So when everything is red, then we're ready to go. Yep. It's interesting just how many abandoned buildings there are. Like it's just not. The city's not growing as fast as I would expect, even though everything is good except education. Do people not move in because of education? Is education really such a big deal? I mean, look, it's just abandoned buildings everywhere. And the city is not growing much. Fascinating. I don't know if if demolishing the abandoned buildings actually make it grow faster. Also, does this cost money? Let me do this. I don't think it does, because the thing is, if there's no demand, why would it matter? The city only grows when there is demand, so there's no real point demolishing abandoned buildings. I mean, it makes the neighboring buildings a little bit happier, sure. Like, it doesn't really help all that much, does it? My city is stabilizing at 40,000 people. Do we just... Like, there's no demand for anything, and the population is just flattening out at 40,000? Jobs available. Are my taxes messed up? Not really. No, they're not that messed up. Should I lower taxes to invite people back in? Maybe I should. Or is this not enough customers? Yeah, I thought so. Maybe I should lower taxes to invite people back in. Let's lower that to 6 and lower that to 6. Does that actually attract people back in to the city? I'm not sure that it does. Let's see. Because the city should stabilize at around 53,000 people. But for some reason the city is now stuck at about 40,000. And I mean, I do realize I turned off all the schools. Does that make such a big difference? Maybe it does. Alright, so I lowered the residential taxes. No, it's still flattening. Look, it's still flattening out just underneath 40,000. This is so strange. I haven't left anything off, have I? Power, water, garbage, healthcare, fire coverage, police coverage. Crime rate is 5%. I guess the low education is starting to have a little bit of effect. Secondary. Oh, the colors. Anyway. Alright, so the education is dropping. Uneducated 44%, educated 8%, well-educated 14%, highly educated 14%. So we're up to 44% uneducated people. 45% uneducated people. How long should I wait for this? Should I wait for it to go all the way up to like 80% or 90%? I mean the crime rate has gone from like 2 to 5. Does that mean if I turn off all the police stations, it would double from 22 to 50? Alright, I'm gonna save the game. I'm gonna try turning off the police stations. If it doesn't work, then we'll load the game again, and then we'll keep waiting for the education to drop. I'm hoping that the police stations are like a multiplier or like a divider on the crime. Like if it's additive, then it's not gonna work at all. If it's multiplicative, then it's gonna work. Is it multiplicative? Multiplicative. It is, right? Alright, so police station off. Police station off. Come on, please work. I just want to get this done so I can go back to building my city. And I'm just hoping that this is easier with a lower population than a high population. What I'm concerned about is that there's no demand for anything, so I am worried that I've broken my city irreversibly. That's possible. Given, you know, complex simulations and all that. There is a possibility that we have broken the city to the extent that it would never recover. I don't know. It's never happened before in this game. But I'm not gonna rule it out. Alright, so we turn off the police stations. What's gonna happen? Crime rate 5%. Right? Nobody's noticed yet. 6%. Alright, somebody's starting to notice that there's no police anywhere. 7%. Please work. Please work. Come on, you're like almost 50% uneducated. Let me just check again. You are 48% uneducated. No school, no police. What are you gonna do? Sit at home and be a good person? Of course not. Come on. Crime rate 50%. Let's go. 12. I don't know. I just don't know. The last time we turned off the police, it just got stuck at around 20 to 25. And people were just too nice about it. Although if you think about it, what is that? Crime rate 50%. Half the city are criminals? That's worse than Gotham City. Like that's insane. Like half the city are criminals? Like one half steals from the other half. Well, we're at 19, alright, come on. 19%. And nothing? Really? Not 20%, alright, 20%. The crime rate is slowly rising. Very, very slowly rising. The game tells us it's low education. Oh, unemployment. Hold on. Unemployment. We need to factor in unemployment as well. Low education, unemployment, and no police. This is gonna kill the city, isn't it? %. Come on. Come on. You can do it. I don't know. I'm not sure this is fun. I'm not sure like this sort of thing is entertainment. Deliberately destroying your city like this. Curiously, the residential demand is going up. I don't know why. Anyway, we're at 21% crime rate.